Good day folks, today we're going to be making some bread. When making bread, pastry, measuring out your flour is a science. So what we're going to do today is we're going to measure it out with a spoon. 2 cups of white flour, 2 cups. You could use 3 cups if you want, but I'm going to pretend for once I'm going to be healthy. And I am going to use 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Making a bit of a mess, but you know what? I'm the gal who's got to clean it up, so I don't give a rat's behind. Leveling it off with my knife. Perfect measurements. 3 cups. To that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. Half a teaspoon of yeast. I'm using quick rise yeast. Perfectly level. Going to stir that up a little bit. To that I'm going to add 1.5 cups of warm water. Stirring it up. Going to add just a bit more water, probably about a tablespoon. It wasn't sticky enough, and that's why I added the additional water. That's looking perfect. Now I'm just going to feel it, see if it's sticky. Indeed, very sticky. Just going to give it a little turn, just like that. No big deal, right guys? What I'm going to do now is cover it in a saran wrap, plastic wrap. If I can get this sucker out of here, we'll be good to go. Holy shite, look at that, eh? Now I'm just going to drape it in a clean tea towel. I'm going to put it aside in my warm kitchen for 12 to 24 hours. Going to have a little peek at it to see if it's rised. It should be about double its size. Night, night. We'll see you later. Here's when I started yesterday. So let's have a wee look at it. It's certainly bigger than what I showed you in the last bowl, so I would say it's doubled in size. Next easy step. We are now going to put it out on a clean surface. In this case, I'm going to use my counter, and I am going to very generously sprinkle flour. Oh, this never smell good. I'm just going to plop it right down here. And as I'm doing that, you see how it's shrinking? Just plopping it right down. Pulling all the sides as I go. Perfect. Just going to flour my hands a wee bit because I'm going to touch this. Flour again. Pat it down, and now just going to leave it like that. I'm going to cover it with saran, but what I'm going to do is just lightly dust the saran because the dough is sticky. Brilliant. And just lightly place it down like that. Walk away from it for 15 minutes, come back and see what happens. It's been 15 minutes and we're ready to try our next step. Let's take the saran off. It's really risen nicely on the top. And I'm going to bring forward a clean board. I've got just a chopping board under here and a clean tea towel on top. And the reason I'm doing that is because we're going to let this dough now sit for 2 more hours, and I'm going to use the counter for other purposes. That's why I put it on the board, make it portable. Okay, let's cover our clean tea towel, dust it with some flour. I'm going to rub that in because it's still sticky, right? Now, let's start talking about flavors. I have some cornmeal here because that's how I like my bread. You could use bran, you could use sesame seeds, whatever you like on your bread. I am going to, again, dust my clean towel with some cornmeal, spread it around like that. Carefully, with my hands with flour, pick up this dough. Now what we're going to do is 2 sets of 3 folds. Going to take it, as you can see, I'm pulling it away from you and folding it. Taking this side and folding it. Taking the other side and folding it. Let's do it again. But at this point, I'm going to add my flavors. Today, I'm going to add some black olives and some rosemary to my homemade bread. So I have half a teaspoon of really chopped finely rosemary. If this was fresh, I would probably use 2 tablespoons probably. I have 1 cup of chopped black olives. This is my final fold. Going to sprinkle a little bit of the rosemary. I'm going to put about half of the black olives in, and I'm going to fold it again. Cornmealing my hands. 1 fold, more flavors. 2 folds, more flavors, 3 folds. Done. And now I've patted into a beautiful little cube. I'm going to now cover that with a clean towel, just like so. and I'm gonna let it sit in my nice warm kitchen for 2 hours. The bread has been sitting here rising for about an hour and a half. So 30 minutes before we're ready to work on the bread again, take your cast iron, whatever the hell these are called, and you have to use a cast iron. I'm sorry, this is the only way this bread works that I'm aware of. Take your cast iron pot and put it in a 425-degree oven, lid on and everything. These cast iron pots have been in the oven for 30 minutes at 475 degrees. Carefully tuck them out. Carefully, I'm going to take off the lids. Yeah, I know, it's been around the block and back again. I'm going to pick it up with my hand. Holy moly. I am going to gently put it into one of these incredibly hot cast iron pans. In the oven, 425 for 30 minutes. Take the lid off, cook them for another 30. Be right back. The bread has been cooling for about 40 minutes and I'm really kind of anxious to cut into it, so let's go ahead and do that. Now I know this isn't going to be a problem because this recipe is a no-fool, no-fail bread recipe. Nice crunch for the crust. Easy to cut. I'm going to cut a nice big piece. That is a lovely piece of bread. A little bit of steam still coming off of it. Add raisins and some cinnamon. Put whatever you want in it. Today I did olives and rosemary. Ciao for now. Shit, I've wrecked my pots. Oh shit.